Hey everyone, Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and today I'm going to talk about how to become a full-time real estate investor. I became full-time in real estate when I was like 22, but I was an agent and investor. So I'm going to talk about how I got into the business, how my career progressed, also how other people can do it. Before we get into that, make sure you check out investormore.com. I have a ton of free articles, something like 450, something ridiculous. I'm writing a new one every week still. Also have a new podcast every week, so check that out. And lots of other great resources. So I grew up in a real estate family. My dad got his license in 1978. I remember sleeping under his desk in the office when I was 3. I'd go on showings with him, be in the car all the time. I was immersed in real estate. And I didn't want anything to do with it growing up. In high school and college, I did not want to be in real estate. I got a degree in business finance. And when I graduated from the University of Colorado, I couldn't find the awesome job that I wanted. So I thought, I'll just work part-time for my dad until I figure out what I really want to do. And that part-time became full-time. Got my real estate license, became an agent, and I helped him flip houses once in a while as well. So I loved being in real estate. I loved having freedom, making my own schedule, kind of being my own boss. But I wasn't amazingly successful in the beginning. I wasn't super motivated. I didn't really make any plans for myself or goals. So I survived. I did fine. I bought a house when I was 22, which was pretty cool. But I didn't buy an amazing house. I lost money on it 7 years later when I sold it. But it was really cool being full-time. I saw a lot of my other friends in the corporate world who were making similar money to me, but absolutely hated their life because their jobs didn't make sense, their bosses weren't good, they didn't even know what they're really supposed to be doing. And I knew I was in the right business, talking to them, seeing what I was doing. I just had to figure out my niche in the business. And that came when I found the world of REO, which is selling foreclosures for banks. I started doing that. I actually accidentally made some goals about selling houses and making money, and my career took off. Started selling 100 houses a year. At one point I sold 200 houses a year, and I started buying rental properties. Then kind of started really molding our team how I wanted it, increased the fix and flip business, ended up buying out my father, increasing the team even bigger, so we had more agents working for us, doing even more flips, bought more rentals, started this blog, started doing videos, podcasts, all that stuff. And the reason I was able to do so many things is because I'm in real estate full-time. I have time to do it. I make my own rules. I figure out what's important, and it's really an awesome feeling. Now, you also do not have a boss telling you what and when to do, so you do have to be motivated. You have to be able to schedule things yourself, to not mess around all the time, to really focus on the business. It's really easy to get stuck doing busy work and pretending like you're working but not really doing things that matter. So you have to be careful about that too. But it really is awesome being full-time. And now, it's kind of hard to say when I actually became a full-time investor versus full-time agent, but they kind of go hand in hand as well because it's a similar career. And I have a lot of people in some of my coaching programs that say, man, I can't believe how many things you do. You're flipping houses, you've got rentals, you're writing books. How do you have time for that? And number one, I have a great team. I've got a ton of people, from my project manager to our contract assistant to my team manager to other agents who help me. And then number two, this is my job. This is all I do. So I love it. I love going to work on Mondays. It's not like I'm dreading the work week. I love going in and going into the office. It's exciting doing new things, figuring out new things, having new properties come in. It's just a lot of fun. Not that I don't love going home and being with my family either, because that's another great thing is I have free time. I'm not working nonstop. I come into work about 8:30 every day. I get home by 5 almost every day. I have time to play golf a couple times a week. I almost never work on the weekends. It really is an amazing business, and it's a lot of fun. Not to mention you can make a lot of money, if you do things right. So, but how can you do it? I kind of lucked into it, to be honest, with my dad and becoming an agent. But at the same time, I wasn't super successful until I found my own niche, made my own way, and actually bought him out. But there are lots of ways how other people can become full-time as well. And I think the first thing to do is make some goals, write out some plans, make sure you're on top of what you know you want. If you don't know where you want to go, how are you going to get there? So you have to give yourself, plateaus or benchmarks, something you need to get to before you can go full time. So do that from the very beginning before you start fretting or worrying or, scrambling. Figure out how much money do you need to go full time. How do you need to replace your current income? Do you need more than your current income? Do you want more passive income? What is it you need to feel comfortable going full time? And a lot of people have asked me that, how to do it, what to do, and I can't answer that question for you because we're all different. We have different families, we have different cars, different houses, we live in different states, we have different expenses. I don't know what you need to go full time. You have to figure that out, and you need to come up with a number. And maybe you're in real estate part-time now. Maybe you're working as an agent part-time. You're flipping houses part-time. You have rentals part-time. So figure out, okay, how much money do I need to make from my rental properties before I can go full-time into real estate? How much money do I need to make flipping houses before I can go full-time into real estate? How much money do I need to make as an agent before I can go full-time into real estate? Set that goal for yourself and then post it on your wall, post it in your car, put it in your phone, remind yourself of that goal all the time. And look at it and think, okay, when I get to that number, I can go full-time. I can quit my job. I mean, that's a pretty cool feeling when you're going to get there and be able to say, hey, I'm done working for someone else. I can work for myself now. And something else to think about when you're setting that number is maybe it doesn't have to be as big as you think it is, because if you're working part-time as an agent, or you're working part-time flipping houses, or you're buying rentals part-time, whatever it is you're only doing it part-time. If you're able to quit your job and add 40, 60 hours a week, whatever it is you're working now, and focus that time onto real estate investing, you're going to make huge strides in how much money you're going to make in the real estate world. If you're, I had someone on a call the other day where he was doing well as a part-time agent. He had a full-time career as a part-time agent, and I think he was selling almost 20 houses a year as a part-time agent. That's pretty amazing. That's really good. It's tough to make it work as a part-time agent. And he's worried that if he quit his job, he would not be making enough, to survive. And he wanted to sell like 35 houses a year to survive as an agent. And I'm like, man, you're selling 20 houses a year part-time. If you're able to go full-time, you could easily double that, if not triple that, if you're putting all your focus, all your time into that business. I mean, there's no way you should not be making way more than you're making now once you focus your time on that business and give it your all. So maybe you don't need, quite as much money now as you think you do, because once you go full-time, you'll have so much more effort you can put into the real estate and do much better than you are on a part-time basis. So make those numbers, set a date in your mind on when you want to hit them, and give yourself that goal of when I hit that number, I'm going to quit my job. Make sure you hold yourself to it. If you really want to do it, if you really want to get into real estate full-time, you've got to plan really well, set some goals for yourself, and stick to them. And one interesting thing too is Justin, who's my team manager, was in the corporate world full-time before he joined my team. He got his real estate license, kind of stuck around real part-time in the corporate world, doing some actually contracting work for him. But the funny thing was, when he told the company he's working for he is quitting, they offered to increase his salary by 50%. So he didn't even know what his value was in the corporate world. He didn't know how much that company needed him until he's ready to quit and tell them, I'm done. And I think so many people are in that same position where they're worried about losing their job. They don't think they're as valuable as they really are. But those companies need you in the corporate world more than you need them, right? I mean, if you can make it work in real estate, if you can go out on your own, you can do so much better, make so much more money, have so much more control of your life than what others can give to you by being your boss, the company you work for, whatever it is. Working for yourself is amazing. It's a great feeling, and you can make a lot more money. So think about what those numbers are, what you have to do to make it work as a full-time investor, agent, whatever. And speaking of being an agent, a lot of people can kind of make that transition to being a full-time investor faster if they become an agent. Now, you don't have to go around selling, 50 houses a year, 100 houses a year to make a lot of money as an agent. Selling 20 houses a year, depending on your market, you can easily make $50,000 maybe even more, just on a part-time basis selling houses. And if you're also flipping or wholesaling, whatever else you're doing, in real estate to make money buying rentals, that's just kind of like supplemental income on top of what else you're doing. And if you're an agent, you're immersed in the business. You know your market like no one else. You're in real estate all the time. You can write your own offers. You're networking with other agents, with lenders, with title companies, with insurance agents, all those people in the business who can bring you deals, help you get financing, teach you, all types of different tricks and techniques along the way. So being a full-time, not just investor, but agent is going to make you more successful as well as an investor. Just being in the business, being around all the time, having the flexibility to write offers and go see houses whenever you want is huge. Just like, the guys I know who wonder how I do so much. Yes, I'm able to hire a team, hire assistants, people who can help me. But this is all I do too. If this is all you do, it's so much easier to succeed in the business. It's so much easier to get into it than if you're just doing it part-time, a couple hours a week, maybe on the weekends. And not only that, but when you're doing it part-time, obviously you're doing it on top of your other job, you're taking away from your family time. You're not spending as much time with your family, with your kids, in the evenings, on the weekends. And I know a lot of people are grinders out there. They're working 80 hours, 100 hours a week thinking, hey, if I can do it now, then I'll have a better, time in the future. But I'm a strong believer that I want to spend as much quality time with my kids now. I don't want to wait 10 years and be like, man, I wish I would have spent more time with my kids back when they were young. I want to spend as much quality time with them and my family now, as soon as they were born. I don't want to put things off. And I've kind of done that by being in the business full time, by hiring people to help me, by not being scared of taking some risks and chances in this business. So I know I don't have a whole lot of specific advice on exactly how to quit your corporate job and move into real estate, because everybody's so different. Everyone's in a different situation. But number one, you want to start investing somehow. You need to either be buying rentals, flipping, whatever it is you're doing in the part-time. Figure out a way to make money in real estate before you jump into it. That's always a good idea. Or being an agent. And then, set some goals for yourself on how much money you need to make, how many deals you need to do, whatever it is to jump into it full-time. And, if you can kind of find a separate way to make money aside from buying rentals or whatever it is you want to build passive income for in the future, like flipping, like being an agent, makes it much easier to get into it full-time right away. So I know a lot of people want to, build up all this passive income with rentals, have $10,000 a month with rental properties, but that can take years and years and years and years to do. So if you can jump into it sooner by being an agent, flipping, whatever it is, that'll help you get your passive income goal better. Like I said, you're immersed in real estate. It might help you make more money than you're making now. You might be happier, more flexible with your time. And you can always pursue other business interests that might be interesting to you. Like, I love doing the blog. I love writing. I love helping others. The books are so much fun for me to do, even though they're a lot of work. They're a lot of fun, especially when they're done. But, there's so many things out there that people love to do that they put off, they don't do because they're stuck in work, they're stuck in their jobs. And if you can get out there, take some chances, create some freedom for yourself, you can make yourself a lot happier person. All right, that's all I've got for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, check out investformore.com with lots more information there. You can always leave a comment below. I respond to all those personally. Of course, if you like the video, I appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. And everyone, have a great rest of the summer.